The lure of the wild drives some explorers from the safety of their homes into the harsh primeval world outside from an early age. Those who are able to persevere become hunters. They are masters of their surroundings, able to move through the forest like ghosts and plant traps in their adversaries' pathways. Threat redirection, crowd management, and predominantly range damage are used by hunters. Some hunters have pets that increase their DPS while also allowing them to use unique spells like Rebirth and Heroism and assisting with aggro management. They can also track down, tame, and train wild creatures and beasts. On several instances, the well-trained dog has saved the hunter's life. They are the only class that may name, feed, and train their pets and to specialize in one of three areas: burst DPS, utility, or tanking. When not in battle or dead, the specialism may be altered at any moment. Hunters are experts in outdoor survival skills like tracking and trapping. They are clad in mail armor. Shields and plate armor aren't available to them. Depending on their race, Beastmaster and Marksmanship hunters begin with a rifle, crossbow, or bow. Except for wands, maces, and two-handed maces, they may wield any other weapon. Survival hunters start with a polearm and utilize melee weapons exclusively. Hunters have a variety of skills that do damage or apply a status condition but need focus to activate. Focus is not replenished by food or drink, instead it must be obtained via the use of certain talents or by allowing it to refill naturally over time. Most additional skills such as Mend Pet and their trap, survival only powers, are free to employ. They may adopt several animal aspects that provide them exceptional powers like increased run speed or increased ranged attack power. Hunters are out in the wild stalkers who rely on their survival skills and bow or rifle skills to survive. They are in sync with nature, and some of the world's most powerful monsters are their pals. Few animals in Azeroth can withstand a hunter's call, and even fewer can endure their wrath. Hunters are as diverse as the world's different climates, yet they are all known for their incredible talents to track down and kill their prey. They may be of any race, however, certain races inherently excel at the hunter's job. Along with their druidic partners, most hunters strive to help the natural equilibrium. Hunters are masters of stealth, moving through the woods as if they were a ghost. Forest trolls on Lordaeron taught horde orcs at the arts of the hunter, and Tauren have been masters of the hunt since the beginning of time. Hunters, like shamans, invoke the spirits of the earth, wind, and fire to help them in their hunts and responsibilities. The elements and the soil are the focus of their spells. The hunter is one of the history's earliest classes. They reflect the profound connection between man and beast, and Warcraft's hunters are more than just hunters who search down and kill animals for sustenance. They are also keepers of the balance. They are aware of the natural cycle of life and death as well as their role in sustaining it, not just as researchers, but as active participants. The hunt is revered, and the prey they select to chase is treated with the same reverence as the predators from whom they learn and embody. If the cliché of the solitary huntsman is to be believed, all hunters are lasting connections with their animal companions, who are frequently their closest and only pals. Hunters come in a variety of shapes, sizes, and specializations. Hunters are an odd blend of mysticism and hard-won outdoor knowledge. They may learn to mystically link themselves with the characteristics of other animals to aid them, such as the cheetah's speed. Hunters maim and snare their victims using magically strengthened traps. They use a variety of shots that are infused with magic or explosives to slow, poison, disable, and disorient their opponents. To give their pursuers the appearance that they are dead, they may even halt their breath to reduce their pulse to a very rare, insignificant tap. Ranged combat demands the use of a rifle, bow, or crossbow for beastmastery and marksmanship hunters. This will be determined by your race when you begin. Guns are provided to dwarves, worgen, and goblins. Crossbows are given to Draenei, humans, Pandaren, and Forsaken, and bows are given to the rest of the races. All hunters, though, may still utilize ranged weapons that aren't unique to their species. In general, crossbows are slower than guns, but they strike harder and are better for boosting burst damage, while guns are faster and better for constant grinding. Bows have a medium attack speed and are best for long-term DPS. Engineers can make guns, but bows and crossbows can be made, hence the majority of range upgrades will come from mob drops and mission rewards. Survival hunters avoid using a ranged weapon in favor of fighting toe-to-toe in combat. Regardless of race, all such hunters begin with a polearm. In the hands of a hunter, pets are the most vital tools. They act as aggro controllers, extra DPS, and tanks. The pet is necessary for all specifications, dealing anywhere from 10% to 50% of total damage for marksman and survival, and up to 50% for beastmaster. Pets used to have low damage potential and poor AI, making them more of a threat to a raid than a benefit. Improved AI, pets now always attack from behind the monster, and an intrinsic 90% damage avoidance have helped to alleviate this issue. Many different beast-type monsters may be tamed, each with its own set of active skills. There are special abilities just for wolves, just for cats, etc. Hunters have a level 1 pet. These pets are depending on the race of the user. Night Elves get a lightsaber, Tauren get a planestrider, Goblins get a crab, and so on. At level 10 they may use numerous instructions to manipulate the pet. Hunters may only have one active pet at a time, with up to 5 other pets available in the Call Pet UI outside the game. Up to 50 more pets may be housed in the stable. Traps come in 5 distinct varieties for hunters to choose from. Some traps are used to crowd control, while others do harm, albeit they don't scale well with the hunter's level. Traps last 30 seconds, with different 30-second cooldown categories and a 2-second arming timer when they've been set up. At any one moment, a hunter may set up one trap from each type. Professions that have been suggested. For any male armor-wearing class, leatherworking and skinning are reasonable alternatives. This enables the creation of good armor and numerous augments as one progresses through the tiers. Hunters that need rapid potion heals and varied boosts from elixirs and flasks may find alchemy and herbalism handy. These vocations are also useful for earning money and providing guild runs in general. Cooking produces excellent boosts food and is helpful for non-combat restoration. First aid is useful for in-combat health restoration and regeneration with little downtime. Fishing is useful for improving your culinary skills and for feeding pets who eat fish or can consume meat that contains fish. Engineering is beneficial for kiting with parachutes, and it may also be beneficial for hunters who wish to learn how to kite. In virtually all raid situations, a hunter's main goal is to consistently produce high DPS. They should know when to use Feign Death to remove aggro before gaining aggro equal to the raid's main tank and continuing to do damage. During raids, hunters are generally never requested to trap, however they may be asked during 5-man groups and heroics. Crowd control is a kind of trapping. This is usually accomplished by setting up a freezing trap before to the pull, then using distracting shot to take aggro after the tank pulls, causing the mob to rush towards and into the freezing trap. Using a concussive shot on the monster as it approaches the trap is an excellent technique to gain cooldown time and make it simpler to re-trap. A blue square is the commonly acknowledged raid emblem, however it is critical to double check this. When the party is ready to deal with the monster, the tank or off-tank is normally in charge of removing aggro from the hunter. Any good hunter should be able to maintain possession of at least one prey forever. It is possible to set a trap before the pull, wait 30 seconds for the cooldown, trap a mob, and then walk a short distance away to set another trap. When the first trap's influence wears off, the mob generally rushes over to the hunter and into the second trap. This is known as mob chain trapping. In certain circumstances, a hunter may be instructed to kite one or more monsters who cannot or should not be killed during a given encounter, enabling the rest of the raid to concentrate on other aspects of the mission. Kiting is a talent that hunters excel at due to their exploit of the cheetah, pets and armor raiding. It takes a lot of work to master. While kiting, the hunter employs speed enhancements to keep ahead of the prey, which is shot with immediate and slowing skills. Kiting is the most difficult skill to acquire for most hunters, but it is also the most vital. In Legion, survival has reverted to melee-only weaponry, as well as a harpoon ability similar to Death Grip. Survival hunters are also the only ones who can use traps. However, at BlizzCon 2016 it was announced that this ability will be restored to the whole class. In Legion, gnomes may finally play hunter. Furthermore, a new pet family known as the mechanical has been added. Engineering materials such as a handful of copper bolts may be fed to mechanical pets. Mechanical pets may be automatically tamed by gnomes and goblins, while other races must learn how to tame them by using an engineering-made item. And finally, there's a reason jokes like OMG Hunter Loot and that's a hunter weapon exist. Remember that your gear class is shared with a lot of other classes. It is doubtful you're the only one who needs a certain drop. While the hunter seems to be a simple class to play on the surface, it may be a difficult class to master. People will tell you that the damage is the sole purpose for his hunter's existence. Although this may be true in raids and maybe soloing, it isn't true in 5-man situations or battlefield PvP. You can use traps to regulate crowds, but you'll need to keep an eye on your pet to make sure it doesn't create any issues. The Hunter or Ranger class type is widely considered as the preferred range puller in a group in most MMOs, and this was certainly the case in World of Warcraft's early years. Ranged pulling is no longer considered a hunter's job, and hunters in groups will be officially disallowed from doing so as a result of the addition of extra skills for tanking classes. This is true despite the fact that, like in previous games, Blizzard has provided the hunter with a variety of special skills, disengage, feign death, tracking to aid them in completing that goal. Tanks often requested a hunter MD that mob to me after the introduction of misdirection. In battle, hunters may use feign death to instantly eliminate any threat that they have created on the victim. Instance pets should be properly handled and monitored. One false click might result in you, your group, or even the raid being slain. To be sure, put your pet in passive or defensive mode and block growl or any other AoE skills from auto-casting. In terms of pure PvP, the hunter is an excellent choice. To monitor and regulate its cooldowns, the hunter's pet should be on passive the majority of the time, if not all the time. Damage is always the hunter's job, and when properly PvP outfitted, the hunter does a lot of it. When played properly, the hunter shines with tremendous damage and multiple crowd control skills. Strafing, or running sideways, and straying from backstepping are among the things that novice level PvP players should concentrate on, as well as macroing some of the hunter skills and keeping out of the main combat at a reasonable range for escape. And that is the class overview of the hunter. Thank you for listening, and I will see you next time.